Okay, let's test this out. Connected. See if that works. Rats. Test. View log. Number 4. Come on. Okay. I think that works now. There we go. See if that works. Yep. Okay. Testing. Testing, testing. Hello. Okay. So let's just go live. Somebody YouTube. Let's see. Studio. Okay. Testing. Hello. Test here. Try this again. Test number 4. Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. Studio. Full chats here. Okay. If I go live here. Okay, let's take a look. YouTube. So right now I'm just kind of playing around with the overlays, and I know that if you're streaming in Restream, you can always do the chat overlays, and you can pull the comments from there. I know, like, if you have a Facebook group, you're not able to do that, so you would have to do it through Restream. But if it gets a little bit confusing, the distinguish the different chats, then you can always activate vMix and try to pull the chats from here. so yeah, it's okay. Go back here to live stream. Okay. Let's try to go live here. Okay. Just doing a little bit of a test here. It's kind of overkill. This is, something if you want to try to do a little bit different with your overlays. If you're using Restream, right now we don't see any comments coming up here now. But if you're doing like a multi-stream, so like right now I'm streaming into YouTube through vMix, and I'm streaming into the live streaming friends through Restream. And so I thought it was just kind of like a fun test where if you get like a comment, you can pull the comment from Restream. You can still do it on YouTube too through Restream, but I thought it was kind of fun where if you stream directly into YouTube through vMix, so that if you have the vMix social on there, you can kind of pull up the overlays from here, and it will look different from what you would see in the comments on the Facebook group there. You can still see it all from the same. I thought it'd be kind of a fun way to be able to pull the comments. Just bear in mind that when you do it this way, when you pull the lower thirds from vMix Social, it's going to be within your pane here. But if you do it through vMix, through Restream, when you pull the chat overlays from there, you'll see it down at the bottom within the bigger frame. So just kind of like playing around with different types of graphics. The bottom line is whichever way you choose to do, it's one that you can easily manage. And I just like to kind of mix things up just to try out different things, just to see how it looks. So where it can work, pulling in with vMix Social, just bear in mind that you'd want to make sure that you take the chat overlay off so you can see it a little bit more fun size. But if you're trying to manage it on your own and you want to see all the comments, if you pull that over there, you can see it all coming through the sides there. But just bear in mind that when you pull the comments from within Restream, you'll see it at the bottom underneath my picture frame. But if you do it pulling in through vMix Social, it's within the window here. So you just got to remember that unless you don't think you can get a lot of Facebook comments, you can pull it there. So yeah, it's just kind of like trying out different stuff here. So and it's the whole point with live streaming friends, just to try out different things. Where if you want to make sure you got that button down before you go live, this is the place to do that. I also have the YouTube channel that's called Testing Stuff Out. So just that if I want to try something outside the group, I can do that. I'm not sure if the chat's not working or not. Let me just check. Okay. Let me do a quick check here in case if the chat's not coming through from Facebook. Should, but sometimes it does a little weird stuff. Let's see. Alright. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. And I think, as I mentioned earlier yesterday, that the Restream and LinkedIn Live does work. So that at least they were aware that there was an API issue there that you couldn't stream into LinkedIn Live. I often wonder whenever that happens if it's something where they just pull your connection and they just didn't warn you. So I was kind of glad to find out that it was more of a tech issue. But at least it was a relief when I found out you could still do it in StreamYard. And it was just an isolated thing between Restream and with LinkedIn Live. So let's see here. What's Corey says? I see ecamm has integration with Restream, but not for vMix. And can you pull comments from Restream using vMix? I don't think you can, Corey. The only thing you can do is you can stream directly into Restream from vMix, but you would have to pull the comments within the Restream studio and not within vMix, which stinks because you're not able to utilize the vMix social. So I know Dave Foster did a stream on his Impartial Geek channel, but that was more like creating custom overlays that you can do through Restream vMix social, but not through Restream. So let me just show you there. So here, so as an example earlier, that the setup I have here, when I pull a comment from the Facebook group, it'll show up here, and I just have to remember that when I pull a vMix social here, take out the chat overlay so you could be able to see that here. Otherwise, when you're doing both, you're going to see it through here. So so just a kind of couple things to kind of be aware of when you're experimenting. So as to just kind of being aware of how you have the image present. So right now I'm streaming into my other YouTube channel. It's my, yeah, I guess you'd say my personal YouTube channel. So like at least I know that if I were to like to monitor how the stream's going, what you're seeing in Facebook Live there is the same in YouTube. So like when I do the overlay, actually, is it showing? Or maybe it doesn't. That's weird. It should be showing. Oh wait, let me take a look. But that is vMix Social. Yeah, exactly. So like, so the comments in vMix Social is through vMix, but when you see the lower thirds, it's within the window here. It's not like what we did here earlier. So like when I show your comments, it's at the bottom, and it's not like when the video, but in vMix Social, it's only pulled in through your vMix production. So I just have to remember to do that, pull it off so you can see that down bottom. So yeah, so it's a couple. It's one of those things where like some things can work, kind of, not exactly. The other thing you could do is like if we were in Restream right now. I mean, let me just take this off here. I could still pull in your comment here, and you know if you were to film it, if you were to stream it like this, it's kind of a fun way to distinguish like, okay, these are comments from Facebook, and then you just kind of like bounce back and forth between vMix and Restream. So it can be a little confusing too, but I thought it's kind of like a fun way to try to like distinguish the different types of overlays here, because how everything's uniform within Restream. Can you pull comments? Sorry, let me just pull that. Can you pull comments from Restream using vMix? The answer is no, only because the comments are coming in within the Restream format, so you'll only be able to pull that from the Restream studio. So you would have to use Restream to do that, Corey. It's only comments that you can pull from the vMix social that you can pull in vMix. So it's like, I wish there was that bridge that you could do that, but that's the thing that stinks. So to your point, I was kind of playing around with that solution as to how I could do that, and so it's almost like you have to combine two productions to be able to pull the different comments. So like if you were trying to integrate vMix Social, the only way you could do that is if you're streaming directly into vMix and then be able to get the output of the comments from vMix Social. But if you're using Restream and people are commenting from the overlays there, you'd have to use it within Restream. Let me think about this. Yeah, so it's like where you're streaming directly from will determine where the comments are coming from. So, for example, when I did vMix and I was piping in directly into YouTube, I could pull the comments from vMix Social. But if you're doing the stream directly into Restream, then you can only pull the comments in through Restream. I haven't seen any solutions where they integrate the two, where you could pull the comments from Restream into vMix. That would be cool if they could do that. But the most I've seen is the ability to be able to push the stream directly into Restream. So like, for example, when you go to vMix and you're pumping into LinkedIn Live, the only way you can do that is using Restream. But in doing that, you can only pull the comments from Restream. You couldn't be able to pull those comments from Restream into vMix, so which is a total pain in the butt. So hopefully I've answered your question there. So let me just pull it out there. So yeah, but anytime you're doing graphics, the neat thing is that since I got it in vMix, I can play it through Restream. But I got to remember that when I do that, I have my NDI on, so that way the audio comes through. Because if I don't have the NDI audio on, you can't hear any of the graphic or stuff from vMix in here. If you do, the other thing is you could also upload the graphics if you have the Restream Pro account, and you're able to play the sounds there. But so like for example, and I know Corey likes this one. I had to remember that the NDI audio is on to do that, so you could hear that when I play through vMix. The other alternative is to upload that clip there into Restream to be able to do that. You just have to be aware of the graphic size of the video clip, or just how long of the video clip, where there's not that limit there on vMix. Let me just check to make sure if I'm not missing anything here. Okay, so okay. If I have people on LinkedIn Live or multiple YouTube, Facebook channels, I won't be able to individually pull comments. If you're doing it in Restream, you should be able to do that. It may also pop up on the chat overlays, but that's if you're streaming from Restream. Okay? What's the purpose of pumping your stream through Restream? So a couple things, like when you do a multi-stream through like YouTube, Facebook, and Restream. Oh, I'm sorry. So with vMix, you can only go up to 3 channels to be able to pump it out. Depending on the type of account you have with Restream, you can do more than 3. So that's instances where you're gonna need to do more than 3. So that's more of a distribution reason as to why you would do that, Corey. So, but I mean, if you're only gonna do like 1 or 2, I mean, you could just pick one or the other. For my testing, I just want to see like the different types of options when I want to pull in the chat overlays. Just knowing that you have vMix Social. I was just trying to figure out a way how I can do that, and so and that can be done just being very creative as to how you pull it up, as to when you pull up the video feed here. So like if I were to do that without needing the chat overlay, I can kind of bounce between the two, pulling up the vMix Social. If I'm going into YouTube directly from vMix, but so that requires a little bit of careful planning of knowing which channels you're gonna go directly from vMix and which ones you're gonna pump out from Restream to there. Let's see. Yeah, it shows on the chat overlay, but I want to individually pull comments for what is appropriate during the discussion. So yeah, so when you do it like in this frame, when you don't have the chat overlay on like this, but like here, you can still see the comments behind the scenes. Like the audience wouldn't see it, but you can see it, so you can pull it individually. Just bear in mind that that's only from when you're streaming directly from Restream through there. If you're streaming from vMix, then it depends on which of the 3 slots that you picked that you're streaming directly from vMix, where you could pull the vMix Social. So it's a little bit of juggling of just knowing which ones that you want to do that, if you're kind of combining like what I'm doing here. So like if I want to pull a comment from YouTube, it's like, hey, tall boy. Okay, and let me just refresh here. Let's see. Let me try to see if that came up. Nope. Oh, there we go. Pull that up there. So that's just being selective as to knowing which ones you want to pump the stream directly from vMix in there to activate vMix Social, so that you're able to pull that in if you happen to like stream from Restream and you have other channels that you're just streaming directly from Restream to be able to pull it off. So yes, that's just a little bit of planning as to what to do, and just keep in mind when you do that, it's good to be able to have the video out like this, so that way you can pull the individual comments like the way that you want to. So, and just a matter of just being selective as to which channels you want to do that, and just making sure that you don't get confused as to where you're pulling the comments from 2 sources. So, so yeah, so that was just a little bit of test I wanted to do. So it was kind of impromptu. So, I don't think there's any questions on YouTube. Let me check. Nope. Okay. So, but yeah, so I mean, if anyone wants to try that, and if using my personal YouTube channel would be of help, just let me know. So, so that's the informal, unplanned, unannounced test for today. And again, if others want to be able to try that out, this is the perfect place to be able to do it here in Live Streaming Friends. So that's about it for now. So if anyone has any questions, just leave in the comments, and I'll be sure to look out for it and try to get back to you as soon as I can. So, so using vMix and Restream right now. Second, I can be on multiple streams and pull comments. Yes, I'm using vMix and Restream right now. And second, I can be multiple streams and pull comments. Yeah, so you just have to be aware of where you're getting the comments from to be able to pull it. So in my example here, I'm streaming vMix directly into YouTube, and I just got to remember that if I want to pull the comments from YouTube, I use vMix Social. Because I'm also on Restream, I'm pulling the comments from Restream, so I got to remember that the comments are coming from Restream to be able to pull from the Facebook group too. I could have easily done it so that I'm doing it all from Restream, but when I do that, I'm not getting the comments from vMix Social, and so I just want to be able to see what I can do if I'm combining both, and just seeing like how that looks and how that works out. So hopefully that answers your question, Corey. And for those jumping in here, that was a question that I was answering earlier. So the recap: yes, vMix and Restream both now, And yes, you can be on multiple screens and pull a comment. Just be aware of where the comments are coming from. So with vMix, I'm pumping it directly into YouTube, so I got to pull the YouTube comments from vMix Social, and the comments from Facebook group is from Restream, so I got to pull the comments from Restream, which is I have right down here. So, but but also the other option is you can also get all the comments from Restream, so you can pull it, so you don't have to bounce back and forth. Not really, but I think I get it. I'm not sure what you don't get, but let me see if I can try to pull this up. Let me see. It's here somewhere. Okay, so if I pull this here. Oh, that's not the right one. Whoops. Forgot to pull that off. Okay, so I was trying to like pull my display there to help better illustrate that, but it's playing a little weird. Okay, yeah, it shows on the chat overlay, but I want to individually pull comments for what is appropriate during this. Oh wait, no, wrong one. Sorry. Oh, okay, so I think I'm got a comment. Okay, so if you think you got it, and if you still have any questions, just let me know, Corey. But yeah, so I think it was anything. It was just a matter of just trying to. Let's see, what's this here? Can I link my YouTube 3 channels and Facebook 2 channels and LinkedIn all on Restream and pull comments not using a chat overlay? Yes. So it's just a matter that when you have the chat overlay off, make sure to look at the chat button to the right of your screen, and then it's just a matter of just being able to cherry pick the comments that you want to pull and pull it up like here what I'm doing right now. So right now, in answering your question, I have the comments coming in off camera on the chat box and pull it individually. And that's only the ones that you can pull from Restream, from where you're streaming directly from Restream. With vMix Social, is just a matter that when you pull the comments, it's gonna come in from your vMix feed, which you'll be able to still see here. So I'm pulling the comment there from vMix there. So it's just a matter of just being able to keep track of where the comments are coming from. You could do it all within Restream and just cherry pick the ones that you see off camera of the chats to be able to pull the chats. If you're doing what I'm doing with a little bit of both, I know that I'm pulling comments from YouTube, so I just got to remember that to click on vMix there to be able to refresh, because if I do that, it might trigger something else off. So yes, so you can do that without using the chat overlay. So okay, so I think that was it. So again, if anyone have any questions, just let me know. Just leave a comment in the chat box, and I'll just be sure to do it. Okay, we will talk about it. Okay, Corey. But yeah, so the answer is yes, you can. And let me see if I can try to show an image of it, so that way. Let's see. I think this is also why I have vMix too. So if I ever need to show share screen, I can do that. Let's see. Okay, this might look a little trippy, so I apologize. Okay, so So Corey, I know you can't see me right now, but to the right are the chats, so you can pull it off over here. So if you're doing all from Restream, uh, the comments from YouTube and Facebook would come over here, and all you have to do is show it individually here. So I'm just only showing this so that way you can see it, but the chat overlay won't be seen here. So if you see within the screen here, you don't see the chat overlay. The chat overlay, like if I did something like that, and you'd be able to see the comments on the sides here. So let me just pull it off because it's a little trippy. Okay. Oops. So that's the scoop there. So, and yeah, I mean, uh, folks know where to find me if you have questions. So, I gotta head out, but hope this has been helpful, and I will catch you guys later.